For the next couple weeks, we'll be talking about developing your own art. Part 1 of this is sketching and some goals to consider while you do it. Now, the big question that gets asked to me all the time from my students is, how do I go from this to this? And it's a long, drawn-out process sometimes, but step 1 of that is sketching, or as I like to think of it, brainstorming. So when you develop and create your own work, there are some milestones that you need to hit in order to create a piece of work that is totally successful. The first one is sketching, and sketching is all about brainstorming or sketching out rough doodles or ideas until you see something you like. Over the next couple slides, you're going to see some sketches from me that I did while setting a timer for 1 hour. Now, sketching tends to have a lot of little drawings on a page until you find something that really calls out to you. A lot of times when I'm hired to do a drawing for somebody, I'm doing these sketches a lot. I take about 5 to 6 pages until I find something that's really successful. When you do this, you want to try to focus on the principles of art that we've covered in class: pattern, balance, and emphasis. Try to pick one of those and focus on it when you're doing your sketches, and you'll be a lot more successful. But don't just focus on one. Make sure you have all 3 present, but maybe you have one that's stronger than the other. Ask yourself, when you finish your sketches, did I use the principles that we've learned? Am I trying those things out in these sketches? Also, you want to think of the emotional content you want to come across to the viewer. Are they feeling angry when they look at the piece? Does the figure in the piece convey that anger? Or maybe loneliness, or some kind of emotion that you want to convey in your work? You want to make sure that it's going to come across to somebody that has no knowledge of your prior art or of the subject matter. Now, if you ask yourself those questions and your answer is yes, then you're ready for the next step in your art. If no, then you want to keep sketching until you draw something that does answer yes. This process is long, and sometimes it takes hours. You can't usually finish in an hour. It's really running into a wall until you go through a wall. So let's talk about the goals for this week's assignment. You want to set a timer for yourself for about an hour. You want to sit and draw the full 60 minutes. Even if you find something that you sketched out early on that you really like, you want to make sure that you keep doing it because you never know what you'll find. The human mind's random. Sometimes you'll draw some of the coolest things you didn't even know you could. Don't use references. Try to look at your work and develop your work through trial and error. Ask yourself, did I use pattern somewhere in my sketches? Did I think about balance in my sketches? Remember, we talked about symmetry and asymmetry several weeks ago. Am I using emphasis? Is there a point that I want the viewer to look at? Try to clear your head of thoughts when you're physically drawing, so you come up with something almost random. You should have a total of 3 pages of sketches done for this assignment at the high school level. That part's very important. Now you may be asking yourself, why? Why learn sketching at all? Why is it necessary? Because sketching helps an artist work through those mind blocks. You know, writer's block? Well, artists get the same thing called artist block. Creative name. So sketching helps you work through those so you're not so intimidated when you take on a project that might earn you money. So what did we learn? We learned that sketching is that first foundational step when developing a piece. It requires time, it requires effort, and it really requires you to run into a brick wall until you finally find an idea. If you have any questions, feel free to message me over Schoology or leave a comment down below. I don't mind answering those either. I hope you guys have a wonderful week and look forward to next week. Special thanks to Zine and Alan Smith who sent me artwork to put in these videos. If you've got artwork that you want to put into these videos for you guys, send me a message, let me know. I'll be more than happy to put it in there. Lego!